Hello, and welcome to another round, another round of Queen Astro's tarot readings. Today we are going to take a look at what does your higher self want you to prioritize. Before we jump into card/pile selection, take a moment to like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the drill. I really appreciate it. And the pile selection timestamps will be down below. So let's get into the cards. So these are from the Empath Activation Oracle deck, which I just got and I am absolutely in love with. So I've been playing with it for a little bit, but I was very, very excited to use it on the channel. So I'm still a little bit new with it. So I appreciate any sort of patience with that. But let's look at the card, shall we? Pile 1, we have Orion, 37. Card 2, we have Embodiment, 41. Card 3, we have the Scepter of Consciousness, 30. And then card 4, we have 43, or Starbathing. So take a moment with the cards, see which one resonates with you or which ones. Sometimes we have multiple piles, you know, we contain multitudes, y'all. And again, the timestamps will be below, and I will see you in your pile and or piles. All right, pile. Hello, if you are here, it's because you picked pile 1 with the card from the Empath Activation Oracle, Orion. I'm trying to get the camera to catch, oh, there we go. You can kind of see the constellation outlined here in the card. One thing I really love about this deck too is the author/artist has, and I forget the exact phrasing, but pretty much these are activation cards in the sense that when you look at them, they are designed, you know, almost like sigil magic or something of that nature, where it's supposed to awaken something in you, which I think is very cool. But my friends in pile 1, before we get into this oracle card, what we're going to do is look at, I've got some Sylvia oracle cards, and then I also have another new deck. I just went a little cuckoo bananas king decks. Orion's Animal Tarot, to kind of look at what your higher self is really wanting you to prioritize right now specifically. And this is a timeless reading, so I am filming it at the end of, or actually it's the beginning of August 2022. It's August 1st. But whenever you find this reading, it's for you. So I'm going to put this to the side for now. Pretty Orion. And we're going to start with the Sylvia Oracle deck. And to be clear, I have pre-pulled the piles, but I have not seen them yet. So it is much of a reveal from me as it is for you. Pile 1. So let's see what your higher self wants you to prioritize right now. We've got Victory in reverse. Interesting. Just because I don't want to get too into this card yet, but Orion I know is just very much like a warrior energy, so I think it's very interesting that the first card is a reversal of victory. Chattering. You've got tenderness in reverse. I should move these down a little bit. And then you have surprise in reverse. So what I'm getting, pile 1, is especially with the victory in reverse, maybe there was something, especially with the chattering right next to it, which, you know, I'm thinking of gossip, maybe not so much in the most positive of light. And I don't necessarily mean that people are saying negative things about you. They could be saying nice things about you or neutral, quote unquote, things about you, but whatever they're saying might have been having a negative impact on you here in the 3D. Because this is still, to be clear, Victory in reverse is still a favorable card. It just means there might be some delays. So I'm seeing, especially with this Orion Warrior card, and I keep saying warrior, but and I promise I'll delve into that a little more after we get into the tarot. I think the archetypical warrior, you know, people usually think of someone that has a very masculine and determined and willful energy. You know, they exert their will onto the world with a sort of inner intention. And I think especially with this suggestion of a delay or this chattering, there might be, and this isn't to say slow your roll, pile one, but I think your higher self is telling you to prioritize a sort of softness, even with the tenderness in reverse. Because I feel like people aren't seeing that so much in you as you have to offer. Because even look at the difference between these two cards. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure they're both in the camera. They all have the same colors, all two of them. But even see this caged bird right here? I never really noticed this before. I feel like that's you overhearing them be like, no, that's not, like your higher self's like, and especially with the surprise upside down too, or I'm sorry, in reverse. I feel like your higher self is telling you to soften in a way, to not give people the edges to cling on to start talking about you, if that makes sense. And that isn't to say to be passive or, you know, don't go for what you want, pile one. I think more than anything, it's a reminder that some things are going to be a little surprising, and especially in reverse. Again, I don't think this is something that was detrimental in your life, or at least I hope not, pile one. And if it was, I'm sorry you had to go through that. But I think there's just little things that are surprising you right now because you are usually, you know, such a strong, forward-thinking, forward action-oriented person that can, again, sometimes maybe come off a little intense, like HBIC, which I mean, again, in the best way possible. But your higher self is like, you know how to do that. Like, you are that person already. I think it's calling for you to soften. But let's take a look at the tarot pile one to see if there's any clarification here. This is very interesting. Yeah, because I'm getting very, like, strong, willful energy from y'all, pile one. All right, so these are the Orion's Animal Tarot. You've got, wow, the Chariot in reverse. Wow, right under Victory. That is very interesting. Holy smokes, the World in reverse. 2 major arcana right off the bat. The Nine of Cups. Right under Tenderness, reversed. And then the Ten of Cups in reverse. Interesting. Oh, this is such a beautiful, beautiful deck. This does have a guidebook, and I am because I am very new with it, but I was just so excited to share it with y'all. Because of course they do have, you know, your traditional tarot infused interpretations, but the artist, I think, just did such a beautiful job at, you know, adding these intricacies that I don't want to rob you of them, pile one, especially with these 2 major arcana in reverse right off the bat. I think that's just very significant. And while I'm paging through, if you want to, you know, like, comment, share, subscribe, you know the drill. I have to say it. Just in my body now. All right, this is an eagle. Just like, look at this card. So stunning. And in reverse, I think it's kind of giving you that sort of hint of like, slow your roll. And again, that doesn't mean you have to, you know, I feel like if you're very work-oriented or goal-oriented right now, it's not saying you have to completely pump the brakes so much as maybe like right now, okay, I don't know why this just came to me, but I'm getting like almost like you're on a speedboat where it's like chop, 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 chop. Like, yes, you're getting there so fast, but woof, it's a bumpy ride. And people who are also on board with you are getting kind of nauseous because it is rough waters when you're going that quickly. So I think, again, it's telling you, you can still go fast. You can still, but there's a smoothness that needs to kind of happen, is what your higher self is kind of asking you to prioritize, pile one. Yes, okay, so this is what the guidebook's saying. Now is not the time to run headlong into danger. Take a moment to think about your situation and review your plans. You might feel brave enough to tackle your troubles alone, but you would do well to tread carefully. This position can also imply that you've lost steam in an ongoing venture. Evaluate when you began to lose motivation and think about, sorry. Learn to loosen the reins if you're being too aggressive. See? Or tighten them if you're feeling like you're losing motivation. Perhaps you need to take a different direction to get back on track. So again, and especially pile one, I just want to say I very much admire your willpower and determination, and if I want it, I'm going to get it attitude. It is very much coming up for me right now, and I respect you, and I'm scared of you in a cool way. But let's really quickly look at the world in reverse, just to kind of, so I feel like something has kind of turned upside down for you, where you were on this kind of like, for lack of a better word, warpath, like warrior path, you know, and something within your social circles or within, you know, maybe your work or your colleagues, there was a little bit of a surprise and a little bit of like a reversal maybe of things happening, and that's kind of left you like, well, what the hell? Understandably so, because you've been, you know, you are somebody who does the legwork. You're not somebody who just plans and says, well, one day I'll do this. It's like, no, I say I'm going to do this, and today is the day I'm going to do this. Yeah, incompletion, stagnation, displeasure. Just to be clear, I'm reading from the book. And look at the, I cannot recommend this deck enough. When reversed, the world suggests you're seeking closure in some aspect of your life. This may refer to a past relationship, an unsatisfying experience, or the realization that something has changed in you that cannot be undone, and you are struggling to come to terms with the reality of the situation. It's not easy to make amends with the past, but finding closure will ultimately lead to a sense of clarity that is drastically escaping you in the present. This position can also imply that while you wish to fulfill a larger goal, you aren't taking the necessary steps to make it happen. See, I don't think that's you, pile one. I think you are. There are no shortcuts that you can take to get there, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll be able to move past this frustration onto bigger and better things. Okay, so I think maybe even the frustration, like, is, again, like, something within your social circle that, you know, people, you're not seeing eye to eye with folks, and I think your higher self is really telling you to prioritize this sort of ability to step back and, you know, see the situation through other people's eyes and make sure that it is smooth sailing for everyone, especially with the Nine of Cups right under tenderness in reverse. This is your standard poodle. They're very, very smart dogs. Very, very pretty dogs. And the Nine of Cups is such a card of completion, especially within the emotional realm, right? Because cups are the water, or associated with water, rather. And this poodle, they're just floating on this beautiful, it looks like almost like a Moroccan floor pillow with this really gorgeous trifecta sort of collar on, and just seem very balanced. And I think that is what your higher self is telling you to prioritize. Again, like that tenderness is kind of feels out of whack, especially like right and underneath the other pile one. I feel like it's a pretty clear indication as to what your higher self wants you to prioritize in terms of, again, I just keep hearing not even slow down so much as smoother. So that, yeah, that does mean going slower for you, pile one. Do that, but I mean, I'm also getting, and I say this out of love because this is something I've also, you know, worked with throughout my life. What's the difference between being busy and being productive? And that isn't to say you need to be productive or busy 100% of the time, but I think a lot of the time people mistake being busy with being productive. Like that sort of pinball, boom, 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 boom mentality can feel like you're getting a lot done, but if you were to, you know, and I don't know why I keep bring up the thing you did, but there was a time where I felt like that, where I just felt like I'm so busy, but I don't feel like I have much to show for it, if that makes sense. So I literally just started keeping a time diary. Anytime I changed tasks, I just wrote down what I did for that amount of time, and then I looked at the day and I just saw how I was utilizing my time, and there were, you know, was like, oh wow, I'm spending way more time on social media than I thought, or way more time, you know, poking some snot, or things like that. So really just kind of taking that time to smooth out your routine, to give yourself this balance. Pile 4 is kind of what I'm getting with this poodle. And they're very smart. They're very calm. Like, they're not like yappy dogs. Triumph, self-confidence, cheerfulness. Yeah. Sorry, I'm saying yeah as if you can see that I'm reading the book. When upright, the Nine of Cups encourages that a desire will be met or a goal will soon become a reality. All your hard work is about to blossom into something prosperous, and you will be well rewarded for your patience. Patience, right? So again, that smoothness. I think that's really, really what your higher self is wanting you to prioritize. And especially, I think it's interesting that you've got 9, 10 of Cups, even though the 10 is in reversal, because this is speaking to like a separation or an infertility. And I don't think that this is necessarily with, you know, biological infertility, pile 1. I mean, it could be, but I think this is more with like a project or a work thing that you've been focusing on. And the surprise, like your higher self was saying, there was a surprise of this like lack of, or this disconnect after this sort of juggernaut energy that you had at the beginning of this journey, pile 1. And reverse, this is saying you're seeking a stronger connection in relationships, right? So smoothing things out. You have an idealized version of a perfect relationship in your head, but your current reality does not live up to this at all, right? So there might be some impatience with folks who are like, maybe just don't see, you know, and this sounds bad. It's not like you think you're better than them, but whatever you're working on, it's just something that you're very well versed in. And it's one of the things where people tend to come to the same realization. You're like, yeah, I figured that one out 6 months ago. Remember when I presented it and you told me that that idea was just didn't make sense. So I feel like that's why it's, again, stressing this sort of patience for you, pile 1. What harmony and contentment you may have achieved has slipped away, leaving behind a new world of conflict and upset. Communication is the strongest foundation you have, and you'll have to start there first. Protect the flickering flame of love still inside you and pace yourself. Things may seem hopeless, but once you lay the groundwork to repair these cracks, you'll find your peace return stronger and good in due time. Yeah, so pile 1, I feel like this is a pretty clear reading in the sense that your higher self wants you to prioritize, and I don't want to say necessarily self-care, because it's not like take a bubble bath and journal. I mean, do that if it makes you feel good. But I think more than anything, it's asking you to kind of take a look at your relationships, especially, or specifically rather, working relationships that might also have, you know, some sort of friend or social aspects to them as well. You know, they don't have to be like strictly coworkers, but, you know, maybe people you organize with, or people you know, are in a community project with, or something like that. It's asking you to kind of like not ignore the chatter so much, but to take it into account without taking it personally, because people aren't mad at your ideas or what you have to present. Pile 1 is what I'm getting. Your higher self is saying there's a better way for you to get there's an easier way for you to get what you want, pile 1 is what I'm hearing. And that is, it's with a smoothness. Again, I just keep hearing smoothness. To really close this up for you, pile 1, we're going to take a look at the oracle card that brought you to this pile in the first place, Orion, 37, 37, 10, 1. Hello, yeah, number 1, manifesting. Like, I feel like you are a very goal-oriented person, pile 1. This deck, again, like I was saying in the beginning, is very cool because they're all designed to sort of activate something within you upon viewing and, you know, meditation. So highly recommend the deck. But also they all come with, each card comes with sort of exercises and incantations to sort of help you, you know, take on the energy of the card. So I'm going to read, again, great book. It's, both of these decks, I am just so in love with, y'all. So sorry, I'm just being gushy about them. But they have not led me astray. Oh, and I also, so really quickly before I get into reading from the book as well, the deck breaks up into 4 different activations, and this is part of Initiatory Path 4, Cosmic Mission, Star Relatives, and your powers of co-creator with divinity. So that's pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. oh my gosh, okay, I swear I haven't even read this card yet, or in here. But yeah, this talks about all about the new construct of the warrior. So again, it's like saying you can still have that willpower and that intensity, pile one. That's not the issue, or that's not what your higher self isn't saying, like that's a bad quote unquote thing. Your higher self is just saying prioritize smoothing communication and finding ways to, and it's not even, I don't want to use the word manipulate because that's not what this is. Because technically anything's manipulating. You know, I'm manipulating light by putting my hand in front of it. But to really be able to connect with people at an emotional core, because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, right? So these folks that maybe are having some gossipy issues with, or who aren't seeing eye to eye with you, remind yourself, and I think that's what the world and the chariot are telling you too in reverse, is to kind of like take that step back and remind yourself what brought you here in the first place, pile one. What was that connection that made you feel so full and whole? Wow, so I'm just reading from this book really quickly. As humanity ascends in consciousness, old paradigms will fall, right? And I think that's kind of what this warrior thing is, especially if you are an American watching this, or, you know, anybody from a industrialized country, you know, our paradigm is your value is inherent to your productivity, which is so bogus, but I get grappling with it because I'm very much that person as well. I woke up at 4 a.m. to do this because woo. But I think, pile one, that's what your higher self is telling you to prioritize, is to be able to kind of strip away this paradigm, because at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's a pattern. It's not, I mean, it's a rule in the sense that you've patterned it into reality, or, you know, we have collectively patterned it into reality, but it's not a rule. We make the rules, right? When a society knows its history, understands its evolution, and consciously moves into higher frequencies of awareness, each member of it, each of you, will know yourself as creators and can be completely responsible for your own life experience. When this full awareness is reached, you will be able to wholly embrace that you are worthy of love, pleasure, joy, fulfillment, and all the good things that life has to offer. If you know your worth and value, there's nothing to fight. Yeah. Nothing to feel threatened by, nothing you need to take, right? Like, I feel like there's a force sort of in you, and this is, again, the smoothness. You don't need a force. You just need to be open. If you know your worth and value, there's nothing to fight, nothing to feel threatened by, nothing you feel you need to take, because you don't experience lack or feelings of being less than. This opens the way to an entirely new experience of freedom and abundance. And then I'm going to close this for you, pile one, with this card. The Orion card also has an incantation to the champion. So maybe if you want to, you know, write this down, maybe repeat it to yourself, use it in some sort of ritual, maybe that could be helpful. The book says, speak these words to help you upgrade the warrior template to champion template. Ooh la la. This incantation will facilitate the seeding of these higher frequency energies and allow you to shift to your paradigm more gracefully. Grace, that's a way better way of saying smooth, but see, I was on the right track. Grace, smoothness, that's what, pile one, that is what your higher self wants you to prioritize. Wow. I now lay down my fighting sword and generate a new accord. There is no need for war and strife. I choose to live a peaceful life. I am enough. I claim my value. My champion upholds my virtue. My warrior turns his focus inward. The next phase of his mission entered, he pledges to protect and honor the core of love round which I'm centered. He holds a space for me to blossom. I radiate light from every atom. Abundance and grace are my dominion. The world I live in values everyone. I stand in sovereign authority where no one's worth is more than me. No more suppression, fear, and discord. Respect and dignity are restored. The entire world is awake and free. We walk in conscious equality. Wow. Well, that concludes your reading, pile one. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I really admire your fighting spirit. I get it. I am a bit scrappy myself. But you deserve ease and peace. And that's why your higher self is telling you, you don't have to fight tooth and nail to get what you want. Yes, so again, thank you so much for being here. One more time, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the drill. And definitely, yeah, let me know what you think of these decks in the comments, because I am obsessed. All right, bye. Bye, pile one. See you next time. Bye. Hello. Welcome, pile two. If you were here, you picked Embodiment from the Empath Activation Oracle deck. Such a pretty card. It reminds me of an artist whose name is escaping my memory right now. But the cool thing about this deck, as telling pile one, is that the artist/author, each of the cards are kind of designed in a manner that activates something in you when you see them. So I just really want to give you a nice look at this card of Embodiment, pile two. And before we get into this oracle card, I'm gonna kind of save that for last, just because they also have such beautiful messages in the book. I just got this, so I'm very excited with this deck. And I think there's a beautiful way to close the reading. But in terms of embodiment, the word body in itself is already just right there, pile two. And I think your higher self is kind of reminding you to maybe, even throughout your spiritual or pursuit of spiritual knowledge, to remember you have a body, and there's a reason why we're in bodies, right? We, as one, if this is what you subscribe to, we agreed to be in these bodies. They're not shackles, as much as sometimes they can kind of be painted as that by some woo-woo people who are, like, you need to transcend your body. And no, we have bodies for a reason. And not to be too, not safe for work, but I'm eyes, nips, like circles, like just an embryo. Like, there's so many things about like the body that I see in these circles. But let's take a look, pile two, I've also got the Sylvia Oracle deck and another new deck. I went a little cuckoo bananas, got two, the Orion's Animal Tarot, which is also super gorgeous, to take a look at what your higher self really wants you to prioritize right now. And to be clear, I pre-pulled the piles, but I have not seen them yet. So this is going to be a reveal for all of us, pile two. So thanks for being here. All right, from the Sylvia Oracle deck, we've got the Consultant in reverse. I'll try and rinse it up. There's also the Three of Diamonds, or I believe that's also the Swords. Visit. Move this down a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna move. Is it Kandinsky? Who? I don't know. I'll have to look up the artist, or if you know who it is, somebody will know who that artist is, or who this is reminiscent of. Oh, love, little cherub, 6 of hearts, 6 of cups, and then, oh, country home, or 2 of hearts, 2 of cups. Interesting. Pile 2. I feel like whatever brought you to the spiritual journey was maybe because of a relationship. I am getting romantic vibes just because of the love in the country house, just because this is almost like the 4 of Wands or the 10 of Cups, in the sense that you literally have it all. They've got their dog, their expensive clothes that they're probably sweating their butts off in, I imagine, because it's like a nice summer day. And with love, and especially the 6, like that always reminds me of like the 6 of Cups or the past. Like, I feel like there's, and again, this might not be for everybody, but there's something you're trying to fix or reconcile, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, but something that clearly was, pulling at your heart, or, that did leave you feeling emotionally a little depleted, or, not where you wanted to be, so to speak. Especially with the useful news here, or the visit. It means kind of like good or useful information that was brought to you in regards to this situation. So that might have even been like spirituality, like, oh, I can fix it like this. Awesome. But I think, and that's true, but I think what your higher self right now is with the consultant in reverse, it sometimes can mean we can be our own worst enemy, right? And I say that with love, pile 2, as somebody who has been that person. Because this is like also like the Jack or the Knight, the consultant himself. Oh, I'm sorry, not that one. This one is the Visit's the Jack of the Knight. I'm sorry, y'all. The consultant gentleman, the inquirer. Yeah, because I feel like, because there's a lady and a gentleman, quote unquote, like a masculine and feminine card, or energies rather. They don't have to, necessarily be tied to gender. But especially since this is a male or masculine energy in reverse, I feel like there's maybe some sort of willpower you're trying to assert over your heart, like not just your heart, but like your body, like that you're able to transcend, reality and shift to desired results, which again, I don't want to place any limiting beliefs. You can totally do. But I do think your higher self is saying with this consultant in reverse that, and especially that reminds me of like heartache with the 3 of diamonds or the 3 of swords. There's something where you are, and when you really break it down, any issue is us standing in our own way. But I think this is a very clear-cut example, pile 2, is your higher self is telling you to prioritize getting back in your body, because I feel like in this spiritual quest of getting this desired news, this happy ending, you just kind of, and he's just sitting here like pondering too. So it feels like, I think pile 2, your higher self is telling you to prioritize being in your physical body and in the physical world even, just because if you're sitting here, yes, in theory, you can manifest whatever you want if you were to just be like, yep, I am a millionaire. And if you don't have those limiting beliefs, I don't know why you're watching YouTube right now. I'm gonna be honest. But you know what I'm saying. Technically, in theory or what have you, possible. But we also know that we come programmed with a lot of stuff from, being human. And so I think this is telling you to remember to do the human things too. Pile 2 is kind of what I'm getting. But let's take a look at the Orion Animal Tarot to kind of clarify these oracle cards and see what your higher self is telling you to prioritize, pile 2. So you've got the 2 of Wands. Oh, these cards are so freaking pretty. The 9 of Pentacles. Oh, like look at these positive cards already, pile 2. The Ace of Swords. Like, oh my God. And wow, the Empress. Wow, 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 pile 1. 2. I mean, I don't know why I said pile 1. I feel like y'all in pile 1 have like some similarities, but I feel like you're more in your head, pile 2. And wow, I'm just like in awe of what a beautiful, beautiful spread this is. Like I was saying, this is a newer deck, and even though they do hold traditional interpretations of the tarot, the artist also has some nuanced takes. So I do want to take a look at the book, just because it is a newer deck, and I want to make sure I'm giving you all the information, pile 2. So while I'm doing a quick flip through, if you want to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz, I have to say it. Like I'm just, I legally have to say it. No, I don't, but love this deck. They're all, every card, like I just like go, oh my God, every time I flip to a new card, I'm just more amazed. Two of Wands, discovery, accomplishment, planning. Yeah, that's, okay. Literally underneath the consultant in reverse, pile 2, like how, when upright, this card emphasizes it's time to move forward and make progress, right? Because the Wands 2 are fire, passion. This position suggests you have a clear course of action from which to take a new burst of inspiration. You're about to discover a new world of possibilities. Success is within reach. You might even see it on the horizon. This may involve stepping out of your comfort zone. So right now, I think, pile 2, what your higher self is saying to prioritize is you've got the academia done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've got the theory, you've got all the tools, you've got all the knowledge to get this, pile 2. And now I think your higher self is wanting you to prioritize again with the embodiment, and we'll touch on that at the very end as well. And the Two of Wands saying that now it's time to make progress. Now it's time to, politely get off your booty and start making things happen. And especially with the Nine of Pentacles, like, what an adorable card with a little key cat. Little key cat. But there's a playfulness too, right? Like, it's a kitten. It doesn't look like a full grown cat, but I'm going to make sure it's a kitten in the, in the book. If I could find the dang way everything was organized in this book. That is me, not the book. The book is beautiful. And I will list in the comments. Upright, rewards, self-control, freedom. So again, I think that self-control is coming with not just letting yourself let your head live in the clouds. Because again, that's not to say, like, if you like to visualize a new manifest or script or daydream or whatever, do that. But the Nine of Pentacles is like asking you to get to that equilibrium of being, if you want to have it as above, so below, you need to be taking the action you need to take. And I think in this situation, pile 2, it's one of those things where it's like, what you have to do. And I'm not like, maybe not exactly, but it's not just sitting around and, reading manifestation success stories. Does that make sense? Or whatever it is you're trying, maybe you're not like directly manifesting or, seeing how people achieve what you want to achieve, do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you don't learn how to ride a bike by reading how to ride a bike. You learn how to ride a bike by riding the bike. If that makes sense, pile 2. Abundance is flowing freely. Like, yeah, it's literally at your fingertips, y'all. And this is your sign that it's finally time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Treat yourself. Buy something you've always wanted. Oh, okay. Live freely with security you've worked hard to attain. So I think what really this is saying, pile 2, is to embody what's already in your head. That's what your higher self wants to prioritize. Because otherwise there will just kind of be this like continued separation or perceived separation between your desired reality and your reality. And especially with the Ace of Swords, what a powerful freaking card. Like, and also I love that you've got 3 birds and a cat, which I think is kind of, but this cat is too preoccupied to like hurt them, which I think is kind of interesting. Like, your higher self, like, they're lining things up for you is kind of what I'm getting. Like, even if things seem like, oh, that could be kind of dangerous with cat might want to eat those blue jays, but no, cats chill. Don't know why I got that, pile 2, but I think if there was like something you're worried about, like potential adversity, this is saying don't worry about it. Like, things are gonna, we got everything lined up. We'll worry about that. You worry about, being in your body. Right now I'm looking for the Ace of Swords in here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, breakthroughs, intensity, concentration. So, yeah, this is a time of mental and intellectual potential for you, which again, I think it's, and what's interesting too, I'm thinking of, the Swan Princess, if you've seen the cartoon version, which is hilarious. The vow I made was for her. That joke was for maybe 10 people. But she, the Swan Princess, she would transform at night, right? Or from a person to a swan in the light of the moon. She was cursed and by evil warlock. And she felt trapped in the swan body. But again, I think this is reminding you that while you do have like such an intellectual capability, pile 2, and this ability to bring into what, like spiritually, what you want in your life, you do have to be in your body. And I think it's reminding you, like, don't look at it like she's not bleeding. Like, she's holding the sword. It's not penetrating her. She's got it tucked between her wings. She's safe in her body. This is also a card of potential. To begin a new project or embark on a new journey. So again, like, you put out the roadmap. You've been looking at it for a long ass time, pile 2. And especially with the Empress, this is just confirmation to me of anything, that it's like you have all the tools. You don't need to keep looking for the tools. Now's the time to bring everything you've learned and everything you've been cultivating in terms of your own growth and your own abilities to bring in this like beautiful, like the Empress is about birth, right? Or bringing something forth, like such a fertility. I'm just going to read from the book really quickly because time out. Look at this crane. She's gorgeous. Wow. And also pile 2, I think it's interesting. You've got like, you know, the dark and the light, but they're both birds. They're both water birds. But there's a balance is what I'm getting. Again, that embodiment, pile 2, is really what your higher self wants you to focus on. Your future looks promising, filled with new opportunities and positive changes. With all of these changes, be careful not to get swept away, right? Like, don't be like all the way up in here. Share your joy with others and bask in love. The position also states that it's time to connect with yourself on a deeper level. Your intuition is trying to reach out to you. Listen to whatever it's trying to say and trust yourself. Your instincts will guide you to the right direction. And so many times too, pile 2, I think we forget that instinct. I mean, yes, it's all, obviously everything's in mind, but I think a lot of the times we forget or aren't as conscious of how our body reacts in terms of intuition. So I think too, like in terms of embodiment, your higher self really wants you to prioritize noticing these feelings in your body, you know, like if you are frustrated, do you get that like stomach drop? Does your jaw clench? Do you start sweating? Just notice the sensation. You don't necessarily have to tie it to the emotion itself, pile 2, because you might also experience that same stomach drop when you have a crush and your crush is like, I like you too. But because of the context, we automatically associate it with, you know, the happiness, right? Or the giddiness, whereas literally the exact same physical sensation in a different scenario would insinuate dread, right? So I think your higher self wants you to start recognizing how your body reacts and how it intunes, if that makes sense, pile 2. Again, just really coming back to your body is what I'm hearing. You know, if you need to stretch, I honestly have just restarted, you know, trying to work out and like, not just to feel good, you know, like just to have a routine. And I know it can be overwhelming. You know, you don't want to be like, I'm going to do 45 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and then, you know, set yourself up for failure. I literally am like, I will do 5 minutes in the morning. And if I want to do more, I can. But just even that 5 minutes, pile 2, I think would make a world of difference. Or whatever will bring you back into your body, pile 2. Yeah, and to close your reading, I do want to return to the card that brought you here in the first place, embodiment. And what's interesting too, 4 is all about like stability, security, like it's a very earth number to me. So again, I'm getting that very, come back to your body. Your body is not a cage, is what I'm hearing. Yes, pile 2, I'm going to read, sorry if I've already said this, I'm going to read this deck is awesome. I'm going to put it in the comments. But each card comes with such a beautiful description and also practices to kind of help you, you know, embody the card. Embody the embodiment card. Oh, hello. Okay, sorry. I'm like reading the first sentence. Beloved Earthwalker, your body houses the most vital component for manifesting heaven on earth, you. Your soul essence is timeless, vast, well-traveled, infinitely wise, and enormously experienced. It is hard to fit all of that into the human form in its present vibrational state, we know. In the current construct of human existence, it was collectively agreed to forget, quote unquote, your nature and history so you could remember of your own free will and create yourself anew. And so in doing, you could experience your creative powers as a unique individualization. But to do so, one must be in one's body. What am I telling you, pile two? And not to, like, this is a newer deck, so not to brag, I haven't, I've gone through the cards, but I have not, I'm just saying I'm on a roll. If the point of incarnating in human form was to merely transcend the physical body and emotions and become one. Oops, sorry, my alarm went off. I don't know when that stopped, pile two, but basically I'm going to rewind a little second, just in case. But your higher self is telling you, yeah, prioritize being in your body. You're here in your body for a reason. Your body is a marvel of divine architecture. Your desires are holy. Your passions are born from your soul. Your physical existence is nothing short of a miraculous wonder. So again, there's a reason why you're having these feelings. It's because you're in a body. And I know, our bodies, our senses are just filters for reality, but that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to experience it, pile two. But I do love this book too, because each of the cards also comes with usually like practices or incantations to help you embody the card. So this, for embodiment, it gives you practices to connect with your physical body. Your physical body is the vehicle that makes your experience a human possible. Spending more time caring for, connecting with, and loving your body will help you in every aspect of your life. From this list of suggestions, choose the activities that call to you. So I'll read some of these out, and if you want to write them down or if any stick out to you, maybe make a note of it and you can incorporate it into your day-to-day routine. Literally any type of moving, any type of sport, calisthenics, cycling, dancing, drumming, erotic play, gardening. Oh, I love gardening. I just have a porch and I garden. It's so nice. Lifting weights, martial arts, massage. Massaging your feet and bringing attention to them. That is so nice, y'all. You should do that. If you haven't given yourself a little foot massage in a minute, do it. Movement therapy, Pilates, present moment awareness. This is also really cool too. It's like, just try to be in your body for like literally every step. Like, scan your entire body as you're, going through a space. Breath work, Tai Chi, Tantra, walking, yoga. You can also look at yourself naked in the mirror and say, I love you to each body part, or practice deep, rhythmic breathing while placing hands on your chest, abdomen, or low belly. Finally, you may touch each body part and tune into energy patterns such as color, sensation, or denseness, speaking aloud what you notice. So yeah, pile two, I think that's pretty clear. It's get with your body. It's an awesome, awesome vehicle. And I hope that you love it, because your body is awesome and beautiful and part of you. Even though we are all one, matrix reality, yada, yada, yada. You got to be in your body, pile two. And I'll do it with you. I'll keep doing my yoga and stuff, and you let me know how your body journey is going. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope that this brought you some clarity or insight. And again, if it did, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you so much, pile two. Bye. Hello. If you were here, you are pile three, and you picked the Scepter of Consciousness from the Empath Activation Oracle deck. This is such a cool card. Very intense card. I don't want to dive too much into it because I'd like to save these for the end, just because they do have very beautiful. There's, of course, a guidebook that comes with this deck that gives sort of rituals or practices to kind of help you activate the energy of the card. And what I've been telling all the other piles as well, pile three, is that this deck, which I will link, each of the cards, each of the art pieces is made to activate, like almost like sigil magic, just by viewing it, this energy within you. But I am kind of getting pile three, just to give you a little teaser, if you will. You've been on this path for a while, this spiritual path. So your higher self knows you've been working to like align your chakras, your kundalini, your energy. You've got the snakes here too, like the yin and yang, this sort of shedding of skins I'm also seeing. So you've been on this path for a while, pile three. And 330, I feel like this is your number. But let's see what the Oracle, the Sylvia Oracle, and my other new deck, Orion's Animal Tarot, have to say for you, pile 3, in terms of what your higher self wants you to prioritize right now. And to be clear, I did pre-pull these, but I did not view them yet, so it is a surprise / reveal for everyone. All right, so we've got a dark-haired man in reverse. Important revelation, also in reverse. Interesting. Her reversals. Strife in reverse. And then soldier upright. Interesting. A lot of, kind of reminds me a little bit of pile 1, pile 3, in the sense that a very strong will from you is what I'm getting. A very strong willpower, very focused willpower. Pile 3. I'm curious about this dark-haired man. This is usually like someone who's helpful. But in reverse, I'm feeling like somebody wasn't straight with you. Like somebody withheld, somebody was very charming to get what they want. You know what I mean? Or like maybe, especially with this important revelation in reverse, I feel like yeah, maybe there was some sort of upheaval for you, pile 3, that caused you to enter this spiritual journey, which, I mean, it's kind of like a no shit Sherlock moment. Like, yeah, no shit Queen Astro. But like really something that kind of shook you, especially with the important revelation in reverse. Like that's usually upright. It would be, or, you know, normally signifies positive. Hi, hello, sorry, my alarm went off and I thought I turned off the alarm and I guess I didn't. But pile 3, I was saying, I feel like there has been some inner turmoil or strife, or maybe even with other people, that have made you enter this sort of warrior or soldier state, which again is very similar to pile 1. But with you, it feels like this isn't your first time at the rodeo. You know what I mean? You are able to see these things for what they are, pile 3. And move forward. Through like control and willpower. But I'm wondering, I'm gonna pull this, I'm very intrigued, pile 3. I'm not getting as clear of a read just from the Oracle as I was for the other 2 so far. So let's see what the Orion Animal Tarot has to add to the picture. We've got the 10 of Wands. Queen of Wands. Five of Cups in reverse. I do remember that one popping out, pile 3. And the Ace of Wands, the Dragonfly. Interesting, pile 3. I am going to take a look at the guidebook for this deck because while they do have traditional interpretations of the tarot within them, I mean, they're beautiful and the artist has a little more specific, but I think especially with the 10 of Wands upright, which is usually, you know, of burdened, you know, like, yes, it's of completion, but also of just overwhelming work and the, you know, busy as a beaver. But this beaver, he looks pretty happy, or they look pretty happy. They don't look upset to be working. Like, look at that little face. So that's why I want to see what else it has to say, because it doesn't seem as, I feel like there's a little secret that your higher self wants you to know, pile 3, or to prioritize. The 10 of Wands implies you've taken on heavier workload, right? it doesn't always imply taking on more work. Investing in yourself and your mental well-being by cutting down on jobs that overtax you can also lead to a greater future payout. The last few steps in any journey are the hardest, but take solace. The end point is in sight. There are rewards in taking on new burdens. Keep your perspective clear to understand what those rewards will be. Yeah, and especially with the Queen of Wands too, like there's a lot of passion in you. There's a lot of fire in you, pile 3. And I feel like even though these are like kind of cute animals, they could still kind of mess you up. You know what I mean? Like this is a chinchilla, but they've got really, really sharp teeth, even though there's, oh, there's a fly here too. Yeah, like I feel like something's just like, this fly literally just came in here and I don't even know how. I don't even think I have windows open in this room. Like I feel like there's just like literally like a fly in your eye right now. And so you've taken like this sort of concentrated focus, like you're like, I will block this, you know, water from flowing. I will do what I need to do. Pile 3 is kind of the vibe I'm getting from you. And I think while that's a good energy to have, this like courage and passion and energy, I think your higher self is wanting you to prioritize a resilience that also sort of, how do you say this? Like, it's like, yeah, be intense, like be like, I'm gonna get this, like be confident. But I think there's sort of like a quiet confidence, because these are also kind of like usually quieter little animals, you know, they just do their business. I don't know, that's what I'm kind of getting, is like your higher self wants you to prioritize sort of like not needing to show people what you're doing, if that makes sense. Like the progress will show itself. I don't know why that came to me, but like, especially with like the chinchilla, like what a gorgeous coat, right? Like, I mean, I don't mean that, like, please don't buy fur coats unless, like, weird sidebar, I feel like you can buy vintage ones because they have been deceased / we don't need more fast fashion. But anyway, don't buy new fur coats. But it's so beautiful and soft, and I think the appearance, like you want to have that like radiance and glow about you. Like that fly is driving me nuts, y'all. I get it. I get why you're frustrated. I get why you've got this laser focus. But I think too, with the 5 of Cups in reverse, it's telling you not to focus on this, like the past strife and stuff like that. Like your higher self wants you to let go of that and like let go of, because I think with this need for this soft appearance, pile 3, it's keeping you in this lack mindset. And especially with the Ace of Wands, like with the Dragonfly, who, I mean, again, so much wand energy, so much passion, so much fire. Pile 3. I'm just flipping through the book. Really quickly to find, yeah, willpower, inspiration, urgency. And especially under Soldier, like that combined just tells me that, like, yes, your higher self wants you to keep this like high octane energy, just like Crank. I don't know why I thought of that movie. You know what? We don't need to talk about Crank right now, pile 3. Be energetic, be motivated. Take every second you get and move it forward. The Ace of Wands indicates you just open up to a world of new possibility. There are many paths ahead of you, each pulling you in different directions. You may struggle to understand which to tread first. Listen first to your passions, right, the fire, and let them be the deciding factor. If you've been waiting outside to guide you into a big decision, this is a sign. Listen to your instincts, but keep in mind that there are no guaranteed results. This position is one potential, not certainty. Take steps to assure the best possible results in whatever venture you may pursue next. So determined action. So again, I think it's funny. This is where I think you're different from pile 1, because pile 1 was more about like slow your roll a little bit in a way. Whereas for you, I think it's more saying pile 3 to focus less on how the process looks and more on the actual process, if that makes sense. Pile 3. I think that makes sense. But yes, let's look at your Scepter of Consciousness card, which, what an intense card. And it kind of reminds me of an owl a little bit, like doesn't look like owl eyes and like the beak, like just looking at you. But to kind of give you closing sort of ideas, pile 3, on what your higher self wants you to know, wants you to prioritize. And I do see, again, with this like past sort of strife and maybe a revelation that wasn't in your favor, or finding out that somebody or something was an illusion. Like there might have felt like, oh, I put on the show for nothing, or I've been carrying all this stuff for nothing. Look at what I've lost. But I think this Ace of Wands and the Soldier, and I'm sure we'll see with the Scepter of Consciousness once I grab the book, it's reminding you to, your higher self wants you to, again, still have that intensity, but like be more focused on the process than the appearance of the process. But let's take a look at the book, the Empath Activation Cards book, which is, I love this deck. I've had it for about a week, and like every day I'm like just like looking at it for an hour, and I still have so much to learn. And really quickly while I'm flipping through, if you want to like, comment, share, subscribe, you know the drill. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the energy exchange. Yeah, this is all about like multiple layers of symbols, which we had kind of talked about at the beginning, right? Pile 3, like there's just so much intertwined in this card. There's 5 elements. You've got like almost like a magician card: earth, air, fire, water, and it's a gold staff, which, you know, in alchemy is traditionally like the highest vibrating metal. Wow, how many times will my alarm keep going off when I think I turned it off? Sorry, Pile 3. I was reading about the caduceus, which is the staff. It was carried by gods from, you know, Egypt to Rome, and, you know, gods of all the ancient mythologies. So it's got a very storied history, and I think this is something, you know, like, again, like I feel like you've been on a spiritual journey for a while, so this is something you're all familiar with. Pile 3. Yes, okay. Although you have engaged in profound healing and inner work, there's another layer ready to be discovered and transformed. Isn't that fun? There's always, that's the thing. You're never like, okay, I'm done. I'm spiritually done. I did it. Journey done. I'm just there. That's never the case as a Pile 3. So you are, like, your higher self is telling you to prioritize, like, okay, you've kind of gone through a harder period full of nuisances and things buzzing in your ear. But your higher self doesn't want you to prioritize that, or to, like, you know, be looking at those spilled cups, those annoyances, because you do have this innate power. And especially with so much wands, so much passion, I think the cards are trying to say your higher self wants you to prioritize process over picture, or process over, you know, performativeness for others. Because, like, you've done that. Like, people know your business. You know what I mean? Or, like, if you want people to know, like, you're a spiritual person, they know that sort of thing. So, yeah, as your vibration is shifting, hidden shadow elements and unresolved traumas are being revealed, both from this life and from past lives. Your system is being upgraded to run on a new high-octane fuel. This is a natural outcome of your denser pain bodies being unable to accompany your ascension. Welcome this opportunity to step into greater wholeness and leave behind unnecessary energetic baggage, right? That is no longer serving you. Use the powerful symbol of the caduceus as an ally, teacher, and transformational tool in your journey of expanding consciousness. And really quickly, to close your reading, Pile 3, I'm going to read an incantation that the Oracle deck comes with as well for this card. Caduceus, symbol of power and healing, my way ahead is now revealing. I call upon your alchemy ancient. Receive me as your faithful student. Show my chakras that need attention. Assist me in this intercession. Impart the secrets of your vestments. Teach me your hidden holy science. Guide me through my transformation to raise my energetic foundation. All right, Pile 3, that concludes your reading for what your higher self wants you to prioritize. If you did enjoy this, please, you know, like, comment, share, subscribe. Definitely let me know if this resonated with you in the comments. I definitely love hearing how the reading, you know, panned out for everybody. And thank you so, so much for being here. And I will see you next time. Bye, Pile 3. Hello, Pile 4. You are here if you picked the Star Bathing card from the Empath Activation Oracle deck. Really, I cannot capture how pretty this card is with this camera. But I was telling the other piles that these cards, the artist and the author made them where looking at the art will help activate the energy of the card and the oracle card for you. So before we get into Starbathing Pile 4, I do like to conclude the readings with these cards just because they have used just gorgeous incantations and ritual suggestions and practices to kind of close out the reading for what your higher self wants you to prioritize. And I apologize, there has been a fly that just got in here, pile 3, and I am trying to just gently tell it to leave. So if it flies through, I'm sorry. But we're going to start with your Sylvia Oracle deck, and then I also got another new deck, the Orion's Animal Tarot, to kind of, again, see what your higher self wants you to prioritize pile 4 in terms of your journey. All right, so we've got Thief in reverse. Wedding in reverse. A lot of reversals. Not just for you, for everyone, I think. Pensier, aka landlord. Yuck. And thought. Sorry if you're a landlord. Now you know I'm a leftist. Haha. All right, pile 4. So just looking at the oracle deck before we even pulled the tarot, with the Thief in reverse, I feel like there was like some sort of loss, or like maybe something you were caught red-handed with, or maybe not even you. This is such an interesting read. This feels very emotional because we've got 3 hearts and diamond, which is air or swords. Especially with a wedding in reverse, pile 4. Usually that doesn't always have to be, you know, about romance, although it can be. But more than anything, it's about genuine commitment. So, and I don't, for some reason, pile 4, I don't think this is about you and another person. I think this is about you and your spiritual self, or having this sort of thought that, oh, pile 4, a story just came to me. I love when that happens. Like, these thoughts in your head are living rent-free. Like, something is stealing your happiness, this commitment. Like, I feel like there's part of you that feels like in your spiritual journey that you want this commitment. You want, and again, it could be romantic, but like you want this union of your spiritual life to align with, you know, your reality. And you're like, I can do it with a thought, right? Because we all can. Thoughts are things. Thoughts are energy. And you can see this figure's kind of pondering, Gedanke in German. But especially with the renter or the pensier or pensioner, which I just think of landlord, I think of like somebody like, oh, living rent-free in your head. Or an idea that's like stealing, like an anxiety that's stealing away this happiness, pile 4 is kind of what I'm getting. Even though you know, like, they're just kind of like brooding in your head is what I'm getting, pile 4. That's very interesting. I'm going to now take the Orion Animal Tarot to take a further look, pile 4, at what your higher self wants you to prioritize. And really quickly, I'm going to, I'm also going to look at, there's a guidebook for it, so I will, let me show you the cards first. I'm just saying I will probably look at it a little bit just because it is a newer deck, and I want to make sure you're getting all the revelations you deserve, pile 4. And I'm not sure if I already said this, sorry if I already did, but I didn't view these before pulling them, so it's a surprise for everyone. All right, we've got 7 of Pentacles in reverse. That's interesting here with thought, because I feel like this also reminds me of the 7 of Cups, like, you know, having decisions, having choices, and then you've got the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, but let's keep going. The King of Swords also in reverse. Oh, this deck is just gorgeous. I love this card, the 6 of Cups also in reverse. Interesting too with like the, okay. And then the 3 of Swords in reverse. All right, pile 4, I feel like you've been through it. And now that I'm seeing these, especially with the six, ooh, ow, that was my knee. Especially with the Six of Cups and the Three of Swords here, I feel like your higher self is saying that, yeah, you've been through the ringer, and maybe especially emotionally, like you feel like something has been stolen from you. Pile 4. Really quickly, let me look at, again, I'm going to open this up, and really quickly while I'm flipping through this, if you want to like, comment, share, subscribe, you know the drill. I appreciate it so much. The Seven of Pentacles in reverse is what I'm curious about. I mean, I'm curious about all of it, pile 4, to be honest. Yeah, distractions, deferral, aimlessness. So I think this is like literally saying this is what's been your thief. Like, because you know how thought works, you know how creation works, you know how the spiritual realm works, you know how to, if you want this commitment, you know how to make it happen. But this is saying that your higher self wants you to prioritize, like, you know, don't focus on the thief, because then if you're like, oh God, I've got these, you know, you don't want to create another pattern for yourself to have to jump over, if that makes sense. So there's a difference between recognizing and attaching. And right now you're attaching to this thought pattern that is stealing this happiness, this aimlessness or lack of direction. Your higher self wants you to prioritize getting back on track, sort of thing, pile 4. Yeah, when reversed, the Seven of Pentacles implies that you're experiencing doubts over past choices. You're stressed that you've wasted time, energy, and resources that could have been spent elsewhere. Take stock of what you've done and what you still need to do. If you feel you aren't reaping any benefits, it may be time to evaluate how you're spending your time. So, and I don't think this is saying like, oh, whatever you're trying to like bring into your life or through your spiritual journey, I don't think that's saying like, it's not worth it. I think it's saying, is the way you're spending your time going to get you this? Or is it going to keep giving you this lack of commitment? You know what I mean, pile 4? Especially with all these reversals, I feel like it's just, there's a delay sort of that isn't, and I don't want to like phrase that as like a bad thing, pile 4. I think if anything, your higher self is putting you on this pause to kind of, so you stop just barreling forward and without results, if that makes sense. Like, this is meant to happen, which I know is so annoying. And when they're like, oh, my higher self wanted to test me, F you. But we all have our journey, y'all. Sorry, I'm just like flipping through. I cannot find this dang swords. Cannot find this dang swords. Oh, the swords at the back. Got them, guys, don't worry. Yeah, irrationality, cynicism, aggression. Yeah, so I feel like there's a frustration with this, like, again, this negative emotion or whatever that's like living rent-free in your head, pile 4. And, oh, okay, wow. In reverse, the King of Swords represents subtlety. You're an authoritative figure, but your voice doesn't need to fill a room to be heard. So what I think this is saying, pile 4, is if you are frustrated with this on your spiritual journey, your higher self is saying, yeah, don't give it the microphone, don't yell at it and make it a problem. Like, if you have the thought, if the thought pops in, like, hey, remember me, I'm here, be like, yep, that's a thought, and then it goes away. You know, don't be like, okay, I've got to get rid of this, or I have to reverse it, or I have to, because just by doing that you are acknowledging its existence even further. So I think this is like the subtlety, the subtle power is what higher self wants you to prioritize or to tap into, pile 4. And the Six of Pentacles, or not Pentacles, I'm sorry, the Six of Cups in reverse. The cups, especially the Six of Cups, always reminds me of like reunions or nostalgia, particularly with romantic relationships or, you know, just emotional relationships just because of the cups. But this is reminding you to like, yeah, break away from that. Break away from this pattern, this past, because even if it's like something like, and again, this might not be for everybody, but if you're like trying to, you know, get back with an ex or, you know, a friendship that you feel soured, that you're trying to reconnect, this isn't to say like, okay, let go of it, like it served the purpose, bye-bye, which technically, yes, it did. That version, that relationship, if you want a new relationship with this person, you can't enter it as the same person. You can't enter it looking at them like they were the same person, because then you're just gonna get the same result, right? Especially with the Three of Swords right next to it, like that sort of heartache card. And then especially with them right next to each other, that just like really why I'm like, you know, this isn't necessarily a love reading, but I feel like this kind of plays pretty hard for y'all, pile 4. Yeah, and this is asking for this like optimism and this forgiveness, right? Of this like the painfulness and the strife that the upright 3 of Swords usually has. This is a swallow. It's also been linked to, you know, like nautical travel, and about like combating adversity. When reversed, the 3 of Swords asks you to pay attention to how you treat yourself internally, right? Like, don't be like, you stupid idiot, I can't believe you keep thinking of this thing, or, you know, I can't believe you keep doing this thing when you know you need to do this, or whatever. With thought, I do get like manifesting, but it could be a physical thing as well, pile 4. You could be facing some hardship that is affecting you mentally, and your emotions are in turmoil. Words have power, and thoughts are words. Even those you only say inside your head, like thoughts. Sorry, I'm just laughing because I love it when it lines up like that. It's nice when your higher self's like, I'm gonna give it to you real clear. Here it is. If you're prone to harsh self-criticism, find a way to curb the habit. If you're struggling to stand up to the cruel word of others, it may be time to thicken your skin. Life has not been kind in recent days, but working through the pain to identify the origin will help you push past it and move on to bigger and better things. Nothing can change if you don't accept your situation and move on, right? So especially with the 6 of Cups right next to it, I think your higher self is saying to prioritize that happened, and that's okay. Like whatever happened in the past, or like thought patterns you've had in the past that like quote unquote took something from you, or you feel like was like a thief of joy for you, it happened. That's okay. Let's keep going, is what I'm getting pile 4. But let's take a look at, again, from the Empath Activation Oracle, the Star Bathing card, which is so gorgeous, and especially 4-3. You get 7 that adds up, which reminds me of like that strife. But what I think is really cool about this card as well is not to get too, you know, cliche or speaking in platitudes, but when you look at it all, your problems really are so small. And I say that not to diminish your suffering or your pain or your strife, but to reframe it in a sense that makes it so much more manageable. Like it is so tiny. It is something I can so easily switch. Pile 4. But to close your reading, I do want to read from the Star Bathing deck. The Star Bathing deck. Wait, from the book, from the Empath Activations card book, to give you sort of a closing comment. I feel like this was a shorter reading, I think, pile 4, but I think your higher self is just being very clear in the sense that like you might feel like this has been an insurmountable sort of self-imposed hurdle, but your higher self is telling you to prioritize perspective in order to get over these hurdles, is what I'm hearing. Starlight has a special refined frequency, and bathing in its energies is a magical experience. Star bathing simply means spending time when the sun is down, consciously gazing at and connecting with the heavenly bodies. Your star bath can be done in an outdoor hot tub, pool, or other body of water. So if you can, pile 4, this card is definitely suggesting you just, you know, go look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and all the things you do. But really take that time to just, yeah, unplug, and, you know, if it's available to you and you don't have too much light pollution, or you're able to travel to somewhere without too much light pollution, just go vibe outside in the dark, in a safe place, you know, like not in a creepy place. But just that quietness, because I think, again, placing yourself in the bigger picture will help kind of give you this ability to subtly shift, right? Oh, and especially like, okay, with the subtlety too, I'm thinking of, if y'all haven't read Philip Pullman's series, his Dark Materials, The Subtle Knife is the second book in that. It's all about, you know, transversing realities and stuff. Anyway, great series, great series. But really, pile 4, your higher self wants you, it's saying that this oracle is confirmation that your operating system is ready for an upgrade. Just like a computer, the celestial upgrade will help your system run more efficiently and handle the higher and more potent frequencies of light coming into the planet. Time is speeding up. Don't have to tell me. So incantation to the star relatives. Pile 4, this is what I'm going to leave you with, is this incantation from the book. And maybe if you want to write it down and recite it when you go do your star bathing. And even if you can't, like if you're not in a position where you can go look out at the stars. Like, even if you, yeah, just take a bath and light a couple candles and just give yourself that just disconnected, but, you know, night glowy feeling, for lack of a better term. All right, pile 4. Here's the incantation to the star relatives. And it says, consider repeating it before bed so as to invite the upgrade activities to continue working with you through the night. So maybe right before you go to sleep or as you're falling asleep. Brothers and sisters of the light, bless me on this starry night. Bathe me in celestial essence. Upgrade my terrestrial denseness. Activate my dormant codes. Reset my energetic nodes. Fortify my power shield. Enhance my electromagnetic field. Anoint my cosmic sacred purpose. With the grace of your benevolence, I wish to be in more communion to strengthen our celestial union. I know I'm descended from the stars, a fleshly form of divine avatar. Walk beside me ever present, escort me in my cosmic ascent. I joyfully embrace our grand reunion, earthly starlight and celestial human. All right, pile 4, that does conclude your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Definitely let me know in the comments if this resonated with you. And if it did, please, you know the drill. Like, comment, share, subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And I am, again, so thankful that you were here and took the time to watch us. And I really genuinely hope that it helps you and your journey continues to kick ass. All right, bye, pile 4.